everybody, welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing great. I'm doing all right myself. Today I'm going to bring you a talk about audio. I have already here a video that I uploaded into YouTube already, which I already set up for audio, and I'm gonna use it as a sample for you guys. Okay, I'm going to start by telling you that the first thing you need to do is make sure that your audio levels are turned on the way you see them here. The way you do that, you go to this little burger type of, I call it the burger symbol because it looks like a burger to me. So I click at that and you go to the audio data. In audio data, you see the waveform, which is exactly the waveform that you see here. You see how it disappears? The waveform gives you an idea on how much level you have in your volume. And so you need to turn that on. You go to audio data and you go to waveform. The other one is volume. Volume gives you identity as far as how high your audio is set up for. Usually there are numbers specifically right at the end of the timeline. So let's see, we go to audio, and if I turn them off, if I turn the volumes off, look what happens. It takes away the number schemes. And let me see if you can see them. Tools, you click at audio tools. This is the menu or the section where you'll be able to see how much volume you are to be set for each particular segments in your video. This section here are the audio for the video, and this section here is a music that I use as a supplementary in the background of the video so that it justify boredom, I guess, while I'm talking in the video. That's what this is. And you can see the audio because I've extended it, I amplified it even longer. Alright, so if I bring this all the way down to here, if I bring that all the way down to there, right, and I start playing it, you can see that between the -14 here and the -8 here, that's where usually the volume should be set. So if it starts from under the -14 and it taps up all the way to -8, it should be all right. It should be the standard volume audio for the viewer, you know, so that you don't hear it too loud and you don't hear it at all. The other way you can see it as is +6 and +12, which are basically the same, in the same levels as the -14 and -8. So if I play it, you can see I don't bypass. This one is just a bit loud.
Hello,
fix
ladies
that.
and gentlemen. How is everybody
Then I bring
doing?
it down.
Welcome back to my channel.
If you
I am
notice,
Avid.
it doesn't go past -8.
I received an email.
So it doesn't go past -8, which is basically the level that I want it under. It has to be under the -8, and it has to go as low as the -14 in between here. And if you play along those lines, it will not make the viewer uncomfortable from listening to it. So in the beginning, if you notice, it was a little bit too high. It was going too high. I'm obviously passing the -8 level just by a bit, but I left it like that because it's the intro, and in the intro usually people want to hear some kind of a noise coming in where they're entertained for whatever it is that I'm trying to advertise. So I guess that's fine for that, but when it comes down to you having to speak and the volume and audio have to be set, it has to be done between -14 and -8, or +6 and +12, between those variables. Okay, now if you want to change the volume frequency to that, then you gotta go to tools again and choose audio mixer. The audio mixer is a breakdown of all the audio that you have in your timeline. For example, A1 and A2, A1 and A2 volume for the audio of your video, and then A3 and A4 is the audio for your music, which is not a video, it's just music audio. So if I wanted to change the volume in my in my movie, all I have to do, I wanted to be able to stretch it a little so I can see what it is that I'm doing. All right. So say I wanted to change um, this section here. All I have to do is position the bar here. I position the bar right where you see it at, right there. And then this particular section will be lowered down by me using the audio mixer. I unclick the A3 and A4 because I'm not going to be working on that, but I'm going to be working on A1 and A2. Now, in order for me to link them together, if I just press one volume, you see how only one moves? Right, only one moves. That means only the A1 will be affected if I make changes to this section here because it might be too loud or not too loud. But if I click at this icon here, it will link both volumes together. So if I move the leveler up or down, you can see they move together now. And what I want to do is I want to set it up for, remember, +6 to +12. I want to leave it right about 8, right in between 6 and 8. So this way I have like a 7, like a +7 value increment. Okay. Once I do that, all I have to do from here on, once I do that, is play it. And let's see what happened. Let's look at the audio tool so that we can see that. Where is that? So that we can see that it worked. And that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Basically, move those levelers up to where you want them to be, and then play along to see if it worked on the changes that you were interested in making.
I received an email or a message email.
And you can see,
per request, they wanted me to.
They are, because you can see how they're
teach them what transcoding is.
They're moving right to the +7
for the Avid Composer
section. And if I bring them down,
and that is what I'm going to.
I'm lowering it down. You see that? So no, I want to leave it at.
I am going to be teaching you what transcoding is for the Avid Media Composer, and I'm going to give you a sample of what it is that it looks like and does.
So the way it works is this way. If you put the bar right next to a section, for example, this particular video section right here, if I highlight, it will increment or decrement the volume or the audio for this whole entire section. This one will not be affected because this is a different section, and this one will not be affected because this is another section. It would only be this one will be affected, and it would all be at a level of +7 where I have it set up to. I'm actually gonna set it up to 6. I heard it was just a little bit loud, so I'm gonna leave it down at 6, which is fine by me. So for that is what you can use the audio mixer for. You can also do the same thing for the second section of the audio, that is for the music here. But to do that, you have to disengage the A1 and A2 and engage the A3 and A4 together, and then of course link them together so that once you move them, they move together at the same time. Well, basically we have to put them together first, so this way they stay together in the same section, in the same level section. There. Now you link them together, and you should be able to move them together. Wait a minute. I also need to remove here and here, so the only volumes that will be affected will be A3 and A4. So now I should be able to move those 2 bars, and only those 2 bars will be affected. Right now, this one is set up to, I believe it's 34.7. You can see that 34.7. If you look at here at the untitled, once I click at the transition audio, it gives you minus 34.7 there. So if I wanted to move it, all I have to do is move it up or down so that I can give it more volume. But I'm going to teach you how I did that, because not only can you break down the volume by having to use the audio mixer, the problem is that with the audio mixer, you selecting this whole section to change, or this whole section to change, or this whole section to change, or whichever it is where it ends up to, okay? But there is another way where you can just specify which section you want changed. To do that, you have to activate the keyframe, which is this icon here. This is the keyframe. You have to activate that, and you have to have highlighted, when you go to audio data, you have to have highlighted the waveform, which is already highlighted, and the volume. You have to have those two highlighted. If you don't have those two highlighted, the keyframe will not work. And let me tell you how the keyframe works. Say for example, I want to change the volume at the end of this video. I want to change the volume at the end of this video. And so to do that, for example, I will have to create some keyframes. I'm going to go ahead and delete this just for the purpose of this training, okay? So that you can see. I'm going to click at that, and I'll press delete. Click at that, press delete. There's a faster way of doing it. If you play shift, you should be able to highlight all of them, both sections at the same time. You see that? You'll be able to do more than one. Alright, and then you press delete and you remove them. But what I want to do, I want to put them back. To do that, you have to position the level, the lining, the blue line, wherever you think you want to go ahead and get it high to. Because at the end of this video here, when I play it, I mean, I stop talking because it's the end of the video, but the music needs to be brought up higher. Let me know in the comment section. And you can hear the music is still very, you can barely hear it. So what you need to do, so what I want to do in this case, I want to be able to bring the music back up, because it's the end of the video, and the entertaining part at this point is just the music. So what I will do, I'll place the blue line a little bit after this keyframe that I put there. I didn't want to delete it because I wanted to use that as a point of reference, and then create another keyframe for those two. And the way you do that is you, right next to the enter key, there's a semicolon button. You click at that. When you do that, you created another keyframe. You see that? Usually, if you put it right next to it, you see this little hand right there, and when you click it and hold it, you bring it up, you know, and you want to put it to a level that you think is going to be okay for viewers to watch and not get disturbed. So I usually do it at a 0 level right there. If you look at here at the untitled, when I touch the keyframe, it's set up at 0. So I need to set up the other one at 0 too. Alright. Now, that being said, I don't need to do this the way I'm doing it now. I can also type it. I can type the 0 and I should be able to get it the same way. But for the purpose of this training, I wanted to show you how I do it manually. Okay, so now that I have this, if I go back and play it again, I should be able to hear the difference as the volume increments when the movie ends.
Let me know in the comment section.
You see that? You hear that? So now the movie has ended, and obviously it's time to present the audio because it's the last thing that needs to be shown. But at the end of the audio, if I take you all the way to the end and I put the line, when it cuts off, it has a weird effect because it's really loud. So what I wanted to do is lower it down as a form of ending tone. So if I click, so if I play it right now, look how weird it will be. You see that? It has no good ending. You have to fade it out in order for you to feel that the ending is gonna pay off somehow. So the way I do it, I come here and I put it just a bit before the end, and I create another keyframe. Remember, semicolon for the keyframe. Of course, you have to highlight these sections here. Well, the reason why you highlight this section bar, if this line here is extended all the way here, and I create a keyframe, it will create a keyframe on all of it. Let me give you an example. If I put it here and I create a keyframe, it creates keyframes on all of them. Wait a minute. You see that? It created a keyframe on all of them. And I don't want that, so I'm going to press Command Z to go back. I don't want a keyframe on all of them, so what I usually do, I highlight where it is that I want the keyframes at, which is basically this section bar, this section timeline, okay, for the audio only. And the only reason why it's not putting keyframes on the audio up here is because there's no audio up here that belongs to that. This is the end of the video. Here is just giving you the finished audio as a form of entertainment. So now let's go back here. I'm gonna put the blue line right about here. I figure right about here, and then I'm gonna create a keyframe by pressing the semicolon. I press it, and then I'm gonna create another keyframe at the end, way at the end, and create a keyframe. Man, I'm too far off. And now I create a keyframe. There. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose both. I can do it one by one, like if you've seen it before. You just go ahead and grab one at a time. But I want to be able to show you by holding the Shift key. You click down. Okay, so you see what I just did? Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the little dot, the little triangle, and I'm going to bring it downwards because that will be the fading out of the audio for both of them. So when I play it, it looks like this, like it's the ending of that particular audio and video at the same time. And you see how perfect that was? It basically makes sense because that's the end of the video. And so now that you have learned 3 different ways of adjusting your audio, all you need to do is practice. Remember, the keyframe is so that you can individually set up certain sections of the audio one by one independently. The audio mixer is so that you can change the whole entire timeline bracket, section by section, like this bracket or this bracket, right? And the audio tool is so that you can see how high you need to set up your volumes. All right, I hope you guys use that and practice, because that's the only way you guys are gonna get better. If you do that, you will be very proficient at using your Avid Media Composer and fixing your audio situations. I hope you guys gain some help by watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave comments in the section below. And I wish you guys have a great day. Thank you very much for watching my video. Please subscribe, because that will motivate me to make more videos. You guys have a great day, and I see you guys on my next video. Thank you.